So, welcome back. Bit of an update. It's been a while, don't know how long. Normal stuff's going on. Had a bit of a mare with the pistons. I'm not going to name names and companies and blah blah blah. If you want to find that out, then watch our previous videos, you'll soon work it out. So, set of pistons got sent out. 83mm pistons to fit the ball. They turned up. I was like, oh, lovely pistons. Got them all installed. Luckily, the person who supplied them noticed the picture and was like, "Can you send me the part number off the box?" Turns out they sent me 8-valve pistons when they know for a fact I've got a 16-valve. So yeah, luckily it got seen before it was fitted. It wasn't the best. Hey ho, popped them out, sent them back. New set of pistons came. I was like, cool, 16-valve custom spec piston, supposedly. Put them in, all lovely and doubly. And I got chatting to Jason Moyle, or Mr. Hillclimber, because I was trying to work out the CC of the engine to get everything spot on. Chatting away to him, he was telling me how to work it out quite simply. And he said, "Oh, can I see a picture of pistons?" I was like, yeah, cool. Sent him a picture of the pistons, and he went, "Oh, so you're going turbo?" I was like, "No." And he went, "Well, who sold you low compression pistons?" This followed on by quite a few messages and a lot of digging and bit of to and froing. The pistons that were custom spec are low compression pistons. Whichever company's choice was to use those, that's theirs. CC wise, the 16-valve engines about 10 to 1, something like that. Those pistons working out the CC would have worked out about 8.8, I think we worked out. So obviously they're not the right pistons. So they got sent back. And Jason is scrubbing away with a set of pistons from JE, which are actually on their way now. Mr. Postman's got them, so they should be here in a couple of days or whatnot. And there's been a lot of working out of, he's very knowledgeable on actually building an engine, getting the pistons right. That's the standard KR piston. Obviously you've got flat area, that's obviously your normal. It's got a little intruder, a little raise on it. So the JE pistons are going to be pretty much the same design as that. But we've also taken into account, my block hasn't been decked, the head hasn't been skimmed with any massive amount. So we're looking at sort of basic measurements. So once the pistons are here, I'll get them installed, measure the CC, and then we can decide whether we go for which head gasket. It's two types. I can use the steel ABF head gasket, which is a 1.65mm, then the fibre one, which is 1.75. But we've got to measure it all to make sure the squish measurement is correct. And I'm not too clued up, but squish is pretty much the distance between the piston and the cylinder head. If you get that gap, you're looking like 20 or 30 thou. If you've got that measurement wrong, too big, I think, can lead to pre-detonation. Too small could end up coming in contact with the head. So he's sort of, once we've got it in, we measure it, you can work out those measurements and then get the right gasket for it. So that's the piston debacle, hopefully sorted. Also, I did, if you remember my previous videos, I reamed out con rods. Now, one of them worked perfectly, as in once all the pistons are in the cylinder, the old pistons, the piston wasn't sat bang on straight in the bore. It was like exaggerated, it was off a touch. You're only looking like 0.2mm. Nothing, well, I say nothing major, but it is major. So I was like, okay, so I bought a new set of bushes. Trying to get small end bushes for KR engines is a nightmare. There's not many left. So I bought another set. Well, I bought two sets actually, so including the original set, this is the third set. Pressed in and out some new ones. Tried to remat again, trying to get a bit straight, but it ended up me, when I was reaming it, at some point I was putting too much force on it, and obviously it was going, again, exaggerated at an angle, not straight, which is causing the piston then to sit in the bore. So sent them away to Rob Walker Engineering in Whitney, Oxford, and he reamed them out nice and straight. So that's the rods all sorted. Obviously we've got the ARP bolts in, so they're ready to be installed. So piston should be on the way, rods are ready. So once that all arrives, I can get one in, get it measured, work it out, then we know what head gasket to use, and then hopefully we can start building it up. Exhaust wise, I've had a bit more work on cast manifold. Now, I'm not running the 4 branch, as I said before, because I don't like them. They don't fit much really at all, to be honest. That was terrible English. They don't fit very well. Even if you get the Miltech ones, they're still not the best fit, and I'm not talking about 600 odd quid for a manifold that doesn't really fit, and not the best at torque. They're only really working sort of high end. So cast manifold is staying, as we know. It has been ported each side, flow matched. Now I did flow match them, but what I did find out is a decent design manifold, when air goes out there from the cylinder goes out, these other ones will naturally suck air out as well. So the air that's going out there will naturally draw air out as well to help it all overflow. These don't, obviously, because they're not designed like that. So if you blow air that side, it does come back at this way. Not a lot, but it does. So what I've done is these have been opened out again by about 2 mil. So when these mount on the cylinder head, these ports are about 2 to 3 mil larger than the cylinder head. So there's a step from this to the cylinder head. So any air that comes out and does come back at this way has a harder job to try and get back in the cylinder if it does want to. This mainly helps sort of low end running. So that's been done. That's all ported out ready. I've sort of run, it's not as smooth as you're going to be, but it's got some of the casting marks out on the inside. So that's ready. That's my flange, which was off the original 60 valve pipe. Obviously that's been smoothed out, ready to rock and roll. And then downpipes have been a nightmare. Choices, what to use, blah blah blah. What I didn't want is the ports on the exhaust manifold, the air coming out and then smashing straight into here, because those holes are 51 mil, which is the actual exhaust gasket diameter. Obviously 51 mil is slightly bigger than the 42 on there. So again, you're going to have a flow issue coming out. So this is a downpipe from Mk2 Golf GTI. Quite simple. It's normally got a brass guard in it. So that's come off. This is getting lobbed off. So for about there, that's disappearing. I'll have 2 short flexies, the same size as the outputs on the exhaust manifold. Well to the flange, well to that. That means, pardon me, that the exhaust gas is going to have hit a brick wall when it comes out of there. They have got a bit of a deliberate indent from the factory, but the difference in, you can't really see it, but the difference in that sort of flat edge is actually overall the same diameter. It won't make a lot of odds. You can get a decap pipe for these as well, straight pipe, but all this is going to be, that's being lobbed off. I'm putting a flex on there, and then it'll have about 1/2 metre pipe plopping off there, straight pipe, and that'll make straight to track slag system, which I'll probably get. It is an extra flexi I probably don't need, but I don't want anything cracking. I don't want any force on an already old cast manifold. So they're being flexis just because there's flexes there anyway, and that is just being a flexi because it's easier to do that and get the pipe on there, nice, smooth, flowing through. So that's that. And I don't think there's much else to update on at the moment. Obviously we know the piston issue. I'll put the piston pictures after this, so you'll see the first ones will be the 8 valve pistons I've got supplied, Boston ones. Second design will be the custom spec 16 valve piston, which yeah, it isn't. Again, I'm not going to go into details of it because I'm not bothered me. Obviously I found the problem now, which is good, because I wouldn't want to build the engine up, get it all ready, and it's not making good power because it's got crap pistons in it. So pistons are there. I'll put the pictures out so you can see the difference. As soon as the J ones turn up, I'll get a picture of them, stick them back in. Car wise, I haven't really done anything. It's tidied, it's under the cover, been a bit dusty. I've been doing the flooring in the kitchen, so there's been sawdust everywhere. I have bought another set of plates. I did get set of plates made up from 360 plates. Can't remember his name now. And after I got mine done, quite a few other people were like, "Oh, right, let's got theirs made," and a few of their designs or different badgings and stuff on it were show you it's easier. So that was the ones I had made up. Boosh. It do look awesome, but there's a few of the designs that popped up, and I was like, "Wow, that actually looks better." So I've got another set on the way, which I just think look a bit more factory. So they're on the way, so they'll be getting put on there. What else really? Not a lot, to be honest. Done the crank pulley, painted it up, nothing major. I think I said about I got the ABF cams in the last video. If not, quick update. I was going to do Mossy high spec cams, blah blah blah. Again, that's 500-600 quid straight on a set of cams, plus 100 odd quid in a vernier pulley. And reading up on Club GTI, difference in cams, all this sort of stuff. High lift cams don't work with a K-Jet. Simple reason, on a K-Jet you've got the air flap. On a high lift cam, running standard K-Jet, you don't want to run anything more than 268, 272 cams. Anything more than that, the overlap is too great, and when you have the overlap, air, the intake air and exhaust can go either way they want it because there's an overlap. So you can have exhaust gases coming down the inlet track, and that will go up in the inlet manifold and actually back down. And the K-Jet flap that sits in the airbox, which obviously when you stick your foot down, it moves up, air comes out. Now when that's sort of idling, the reason they don't idle is because on that high lift cam crossover, you've got gases coming back down the pipe. That makes, exaggerated again, it makes that flap do this. And every time the flap does that, that in turn moves the fuel pin, so the car is going richly and richly and richly on idle all the time. That's why they don't run very good on high lift cams, unless you're not interested in idle. It's a race car, which is fine, but ABF cams are the best off the shelf cams you're going to get for the money really. I paid 70 quid for mine, nothing wrong with them, perfect. They fit straight in, nothing to worry about. You can use the same pulley. Obviously I'll get a vernier pulley, which is 100 odd quid, so I'm looking 170 quid for the cams and a pulley, which is a hell of a lot saving. So what else was I going to say? Yes, ABF cam's got about an extra 1mm lift versus the KR cam, so it's a lot of lift, a lot more gap, and yeah, they're best all-round cams, so I'm going to stick those in there, see what happens. Hopefully run well. If they don't, I can just stick more cams in later down the line. Yeah, so that's pretty much all we're up to be honest. So yeah, I'll stick some pictures of the pistons up and catch you back when we've got the JE pistons in my hand, and then we'll go from there.